Well, hello, and welcome to another book review. I've done quite a few of the Bobsy Twin books, so I thought today I'm going to do one of the McGurk books. I was asked about the series. Someone contacted me who haven't seen this series in years, and they're like, "Oh, I see you're doing some reviews of it," so I thought I would do another one. This one is The Case of the Condemned Cat. It's marked as number 2 in the paperback, but as I explained before, the very first McGurk book, the origin book as it were, wasn't really wasn't published in the US in paperback in this series. So this is actually number 3. It's the third book that E W Hildick wrote in the McGurk series. Now, as I mentioned, unlike the Bobsy Twins, and I'm using them because I did most of my reviews lately have been on them, the Bobsy Twins are a bunch of tweens. They're 2 12-year-old twins and 2 6-year-old twins, but so far they've solved real crimes involving, at the end, a villain gets arrested, there's theft and things of that nature. The McGurk Organization, they, in the early books, they weren't really solving real crimes, as it were, nothing where people would go to jail. But the books are interesting, and they're written for a slightly younger audience, I would think, maybe 8 to 12, maybe 6 to 12. Yeah, 6 to 12, I guess, would be a good age. And they take place in a suburban neighborhood, and the crimes, as it were, aren't things that, aren't real illegal things where someone's going to go to jail at the end. The last book involved another kid who was jealous of the McGurk Organization, who was trying to discredit them, basically. This one doesn't. They aren't actually threatened. They receive a client. So the Case of the Condemned Cat. It's about a condemned cat. Now, what happens is a neighbor of theirs, another young one, maybe a little bit older than them, about 12. In the McGurk Organization at this time, they're about maybe 10 years old. He comes to their office, to McGurk's basement as a client, and he says that his cat Whiskers, which isn't really his cat, it's a stray cat that he feeds and plays with. He is in danger of being condemned, basically, of being sent into the pound and probably destroyed. And the reason why is because their neighbor, the Overshaws, they have 2 prize-winning doves, and one of them was killed, and it's on the lawn, and it looks like an animal was attacking it, and it's believed that it was the cat. Now, the Overshaws themselves, they're very nice people. They're not mean. But the kid who contacts McGurk, he has a father who works third shift. So he sleeps in the daytime. And the mother especially is concerned because she thinks that if anything that their family does offends the rest of the neighbors, they can get back at them by playing loud music and doing things in the daytime to keep the father awake. And so they think, well, we're just going to keep the status quo by taking the stray cat and bringing it to the pound, and that'll be the end of it. Now, the young boy is convinced, in fact, I keep calling him the young boy, I'm trying to remember his name, Ray Williams. He's convinced that the cat is innocent. And so he hires McGurk to prove it. Now, they have a deadline. The last book was actually called Deadline for McGurk, but they do have a deadline because the father usually gets up around 4 or 5 p.m. And when he gets up, the first thing that the mother is going to have the father do is take the cat to the pound. So they have to solve this before then. They question different neighbors, and unlike in the last book where the people they were questioning were peers, were people of their own age who kind of didn't really, especially the guys, they were very hesitant to be questioned. They did everything they could to hinder the investigation. Most of the people they're questioning are adults, housewives, retired ones, and for the most part, most of them are very sympathetic, and they do their best to answer the questions. There's one cranky neighbor, and he's kind of cranky, but the McGurk Organization, especially Joey, he's able to use reverse psychology on him and try to get him to answer the questions and cooperate. So, what the story again is to prove that the cat is innocent, and I'm not going to reveal I don't want to reveal the reveal of the book, but the cat is innocent, of course, and it was someone else who committed the crime, and there's actually a reason for it. There's a couple things that happen, and they're able to figure it out. What I like about the McGurk books, as I said before, is that even though the mysteries are very low-key, they're very tame, and in the sense of, even the Bobsy Twin books are tame, but they don't involve real crimes. Still, the unveiling of what happens is very logical. It doesn't talk down to kids, and the way the kids figure it out, I think, is very intelligent and still believable for kids to do. So they're not suddenly, complete geniuses and it seems unrealistic. It's a very realistic book. I'm going to post a photo of the cover on the front and the back of this video, as I have been doing lately. But unfortunately, I never scanned the interior illustrations the way I did with the Blatty Twin books. And I did that years and years ago, like when I went from film to digital, like around the turn of the century. It's weird saying the turn of the century, but it actually was around the turn of the century, around 2003. So I don't have a scanner anymore because, again, with my particular work, I'm a photographer. I used to scan old film negatives and photos for clients. I haven't had to do that in years. I don't have my scanner, so I can't actually scan the images anymore. But this is a book that it's kind of rare, but it's not. You could probably find it on eBay or Amazon. It's not too expensive, I don't think, because the series wasn't the most popular. I don't know how much it costs because I've had these for years and years, but still, if you can get a hold of it, by all means do so. And for those of you who do know the McGurk mysteries from back in the day, I think you'll really enjoy revisiting your childhood by reading these books again. Okay, thank you again, and take care.